Good day, everyone. This is our lesson for today. Lesson 4, Designing Rubrics in Physical Education and Health. The objectives of this lesson is that at the end of the lesson, you will be able to first explain the concept of rubric, second, differentiate analytic from holistic rubric, and last, design an appropriate rubric in the physical education and health. Let us take a look on this picture, class. What can you say about this picture? The saying goes, you can't fatten a pig by weighing it. What does this saying means? Okay, this saying is often used to convey the idea that merely measuring or observing something doesn't necessarily lead to its improvement or growth. In other words, focusing solely on monitoring progress without taking action won't yield results. In a classroom context, this saying could mean that constantly assessing or evaluating students' progress through tests, quizzes, or grades alone won't necessarily help them improve academically. It emphasizes the importance of implementing effective teaching strategies. So, it does not necessarily help them improve academically, but rather it emphasizes the importance of implementing effective teaching strategies, providing support, and fostering a conducive learning environment to facilitate students' growth and development. But we have to consider this, that by measuring the students' performance without actively addressing their needs and providing resources won't lead to academic improvement. So, kung sige ka lang assess, kag wala man ka sa may ginahimo based sa mga nahimo sa mga students kung ano ang ilang performance, so wala man gyapon sang improvement na matabo. That is why our topic today was about designing rubrics in physical education and health. Kay tungod hindi lang galing kita as a teacher, hindi lang galing kita kutob sa pag-observe or pag-assess sa mga students' performance, but rather ang pag-design sa rubrics is mahimo naton nga guide kung paano naton i-address ang mga kakulangan, ang kinahanglanan naton nga ipa-improve pagit sa student. To ensure fairness and reliability scores, the teachers have to use scoring rubrics. So let us think designing rubrics as a teacher, no? Kinahanglan fair kita, kag reliable man ang aton mga scores, hindi lang kay siling mata-matahon lang naton ang performance sa mga student. Kaya may mga sitwasyon nga hindi naton malikawan, may arata nga mapabura naton ng isa ka student tungod sa mga yung nahimo or nakita naton nga expected, but hindi gali naton makitaan ang mga something special man sa sinang bata kung mata-matahon lang naton. So may mga lapses gid ta kung hindi ta maggamit gid sang reliable way or valid siya nga may fairness gid siya para sa mga student kung mag-measure ka. So let us have this understanding the concept. It says a rubric is an assessment tool that clearly indicates achievement criteria across all the components of any kinds of student work, from written to oral to visual. It can be used for marking assignments, class participation, or overall grades. It is a coherent set of criteria for the pupil's work that includes descriptions of levels of performance quality in the criteria. So familiar naman kita sa rubric kay bisan pa ang mga judges, no, kung mag-observe may mga rubric na sila. May mga checking list na sila nga ginabasihan based sa mga nakita nila kag pwede sa ilang mga judgments. So as a teacher, no, kinahanglan may rubric kita nga gamiton para maka-clearly indicate kita sang achievement nga nakuha sang isa ka student. Kay alangan naman nga imonta lang nino nga do base lang, but kinahanglan gid nga clear kag maintindihan gid ang aton nga observation para sa mga kabataan. It can be used for marking assignments, class participation, or overall grades. So through rubrics, no, amo na siya aton nga pwede basihan kung paano kita mag-grado sa mga assignments, mga class participation, overall grades sa mga kabataan. It is a coherent set of criteria for the pupil's work that includes descriptions of levels. So may mga descriptions of levels kita nga pwede naton ibutang levels of performance quality on the criteria. The genius of rubric is that they are descriptive and not evaluative. Thus, rubric are as good or bad as the criteria selected, and the descriptions of the levels of performance under each effective rubrics have appropriate criteria and well-written descriptions of performance. Okay, so when we say rubric are descriptive, we mean that they outline the specific criteria or expectations for a particular task or assignment. For example, a rubric for an essay might include categories like organization, content, language usage, and mechanics with descriptions or what constitutes excellent, good, fair, and poor performance in each category. So no, maklaro gid nimo. On the other hand, when we say rubrics are not evaluative, no, kay instead they provide a framework for assessing performance objectively based on predetermined criteria. So hindi kasi nga ang imo ngaging sulat dira eventually when indirectly ga-evaluate na siya, kundi ga-assess pa lang siya sang performance sa mga student, kina-record niya na dira kung ang levels. By being descriptive rather than evaluative, rubrics help ensure fairness and consistency in grading or assessment processes. They provide clarity for both students and evaluators about what is expected and how performance will be measured, leading to more transparent and effective evaluation. So the purpose of rubrics, like in evaluation tool, rubrics are useful for certain purposes and not for others. The main purpose of rubrics is to assess performances. For some performances, the teacher observes the pupil in the process of doing something like dancing or demonstrating an exercise. For other performances, the teacher observes the product that is the result of the pupil's work, like finished bookshelf or a written report. So kaginano ato naman na istoryahan ang purpose ng rubric. So self-explanatory na ni siya. Okay, so we have here examples of performance that can be assessed by rubric. So there is type of performance and example. So to our type of performance, may mga processes siya, such as physical skills, use of equipment, oral communication, work habits. Example, playing musical instrument. Physical skills ni siya. Doing forward roll. Physical skills gyapon. Preparing a slide for microscope. Use of equipment ni siya, no? Using projector. Making a speech to a class. Dari naman ni siya sa nabilong sa oral communication. Reading aloud and conversing in foreign languages. Ari ni siya sa oral communication gihapon. And under naman sa work habits, amo ni siya ang working independently. Okay. So sa babaw, no, processes to siya atang aton nga ging basa. So under naman ni siya ang products. Pwede man naton ni siya nga ma-measure, ma-assess sa rubric ang mga products such as constructed objects, written essays, themes, reports, term papers, other academic products that demonstrate understanding of concept. So under diri sa constructed objects, muna siya ang wooden shelf, set of wheels, handmade apron, watercolor painting. Dari naman sa written essays, themes, reports, term papers, ari diri na belong ang laboratory report, term paper on theatrical conventions in Shakespeare's day. Nabilong ni siya sa other academic products that demonstrate understanding of concepts. Ano siya ang term paper on theatrical convention Shakespeare's day, written analysis of the effects of Marshall Plan, model on diagram of a structure, atom, flower, planetary system, etc., and concept map. So kagina amo to ang aton nga examples of performance that can be assessed by rubrics. Karon may ara naman kita diri attributes of a rubric. According to Huba and Fred 2000, open that scoring rubrics usually contain the following components. So ari diri ang clear statements of the level of knowledge the teacher expects the pupil to achieve for him or her to receive the given grade. So clear ang statement nga nakabutang no sa aton nga rubric. Makita naton diri ang level of knowledge nga gina-expect sang teachers sa pupils nga kinahanglan nila nga i-achieve. Ang second naman, the dimensions of the quality of work the teacher expects the pupil to achieve. So ari man diri makita man na diri ang dimension or the quality. Ano kanami, ano ka effective sang ilang performance. Diri naton makita sa rubrics. Ari naman diri ang commentaries describing the teacher's expectations of knowledge and quality that distinguish each grade band. Okay, for our continuation of the attributes of a rubric. So there are following questions important in developing an instructional rubric. So kung ikaw as a teacher magahimo ikaw sang rubric, so i-consider mo ni siya nga mga question such as, what are the essential elements of high quality work? So ano gid bala ang imo standard nga matawag na siya nga maayo or very good nga pag perform or pagtrabaho? Kag ang ikaduha, how many levels of achievement are to be described? O pila gid kabilog ang imo gusto nga ma-achieve sang sina nga klaseng standard. So for example, level of performance abi kanta. For example, makanta mga kabataan. So ikaw maghimo ka sang rubrics. Voice quality sang bata, ay butang mo dira. Performance ang iyang mastery sang kanta, ang iyang presentation sang iyang kaugalingon, kag ang expression, facial expression, kag ang audience impact. So may mga levels of achievement kano kung ma-achieve na sang bata. So may mga percent kadra levels of achievement na nimo ibutang kung naka pasar siya or low sa imong pananaw. So i-consider mo na siya. Next is, are the criteria of each level clearly described? So hindi lang pwede nga siling nga daw ang imong mga criteria bisan hindi na importante ginabutang mo lang gihapon. So kinahanglan klaro pud siya kag inang ma-achievable po sa mga kabataan or sang imo nga gina-measure. Okay, to our next slide, we have these types of scoring rubric. We have two types of scoring rubric. First is the analytic rubric, and the second is the holistic rubric. Okay, what is analytic and holistic rubric? Analytic rubric is that this kind of scoring rubric requires the teachers to identify major skills that are relevant and aligned with what is intended to be measured. Okay, so ato ni emphasize ang major skills that are relevant and aligned with what is intended to be measured. It determines the specific and detailed criteria that the pupils must achieve. When criteria are defined in a detailed manner, the teachers will not face any difficulty in assigning scores to a performance or a product. Each criterion is defined based on a certain degree of performance, thereby by creating better diagnostic information. Okay, makita nimo dira sa analytic rubric. Diri naman ta sa holistic rubric. This kind of rubric allows the teachers to evaluate a performance or a product based on the perspective of its overall quality. So makita nimo no ang difference nila duwa. Each criterion is defined generally and then assigned a score. This gives the teachers an overall grasp of what should be evaluated among the pupils. It also allows the teachers to rate very quickly, thus saving more time for the performance. Kung imo sila nga i-compare, mas clear ang analytic rubric kaysa sa holistic rubric, because holistic rubric is criterion is defined generally sa iyang overall quality, no? So product based on the perspective of its overall quality, while the analytic rubric is that This rubric determines the specific detailed criteria that the pupils must achieve, no? Ang specific gid nga detailed sang criteria. So, mas clear gid siya ang analytic rubric. So, diri lang ko to bang aton nga lesson, and thank you so much.